Hey guys, it's Sarah, and Gwen,
Hello.
and we're going to be talking about The Living Dead, or as most people know it, zombies. Um, so we're going to be covering things from video games to comics to movies to the history of it, just everything. So basically, I'm going to start off with where did zombies like originate, and they originated in Haiti, and it came about in the 8th century. The word zombie comes from the word in zombie, which is Congo, means spirit of a dead person. It is also mentioned in ancient Greece that there were like skulls in the graves that were literally pinned down by rocks and their skulls smashed, like almost like they were trying to stop something or a fear of something coming back. Um, Now with the well, I guess I'm gonna go into what types of zombies that there are. Um, so basically, two of the things that I got down were ghouls, which are radiation type zombies, such as displayed in like the game Fallout. Um, and then voodoo zombies, which are in Haiti, and they use basically pufferfish, and they would use the poison from pufferfish, and it would put people in like this trance-like state. Um,
So not technically uh undead
just
or
kind of
living dead.
just like poisoned basically,
Yeah.
because it's like kind of putting people in a trance-like state, and um basically, I guess I'll talk about. Well, go ahead and talk about like what other type of zombies that there are.
Okay, well there
Many.
are a bunch of different types because everybody has their own variation of them, which whether like from books to movie adaptations and video games, like there are just so many different zombies. Um, One of them that like I know it pops up in other games, but I specifically remember first hearing about bonies in Warm Bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and they have these like their body's very blackened. It's in an extreme state of decay, more than like a normal zombie, and they are very skeleton-like. Um, but they're more aggressive than regular zombies, faster, and they have higher senses. Like they can hear heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
They're like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing though about it is, uh, they are easy to kill just by headshot.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't know it was whether there was like a lack of fresh food or it was just a more rapid development of the infection or something in these zombies, but to make them in this like bony state.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody knows really. It's just theorized as to how that's how they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Is it the like
Yeah, that's
okay?
that's those.
They're well. There's
Then,
oh, okay.
what were we gonna say?
Basically, there's also spitters, stalkers, um, pukers, which that means like kind of like puking on their victim.
They're very weak.
Crawlers, bonies, and screamers.
Yeah.
So that's um I didn't really go into those because a lot of those are like video game kind of types, and
Yeah.
I was just kind of going off of things.
Well, the crawlers are actually in, I think it's Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They're Nazi zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And then the spitters are from Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another one that's like the fungus zombies, the clickers.
From Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mostly known clickers, but they go through certain stages. Like for instance, it starts out as runner, then stalker, and then clicker, where like the fungus completely takes over.
Mhm.
And then once it becomes a bloater, that's towards the stage that they'll just ultimately die, and then the spores will just go into the air,
Mhm.
and that zombie will be dead. Dead.
Well, I guess like before we go into the video game topic, I'll kind of discuss what the possibility, like if someone got bitten or like there was a start of the infection in their body, like what kind of starts it. So it would start in the part of your brains, the cerebellum, which is your balance, kind of like your ears. And that's kind of why they would like limp or like start to not have like they would be all jaggedy and stuff, kind of like if you're like nauseated or something or have a headache, you just or an earache, you're just not like in balance, but it's worse. And then there is the hypothalamus, which is causing unsatisfied hunger. And then finally there is the amygdala. Might mispronounce that actually, but the cerebellum is located behind the top part of the brainstem. The hypothalamus is located below the thalamus, which is a sensory part of the brain. It is the size of an almond. And the amygdala is located close to the, what is it? Hypothalamus? No. Hypoampus?
That one?
No, that one. Yeah, basically it is located the frontal portion of the temporal lobe. I'm just not gonna butcher it. But this is why, like, people, like, if they take bath salts, it affects them like that, because it's affecting those parts of the brain. It just turns those normal functions off or increases them.
To a point that it would be like they are zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not really zombies. It's just the effects that give them that, like.
So, I guess we'll go. Well, I'll go into this beforehand. What are ways to cause an apocalypse? There is a thing called a jewel wasp, which you have information on.
Now, jewel wasps, from what I've gathered, it's not dangerous to humans. It could actually be beneficial. I'll just read off from this. So they have an unusual reproductive behavior where it involves stinging a cockroach and embedding their larvae inside the cockroach, and then basically the larvae eats it from the inside and or burrows its way out, and it becomes very catatonic, not having its own willpower. And so it's a zombie, and there's also ants that also can get this too.
So if they like stung you,
but that's from a fungus.
Yeah.
From the ants.
So if they sting you or like attack you, it could put you in that zombie state.
Not the jewel wasp.
Not the jewel wasp.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's not dangerous to humans. It can actually be beneficial. Like with, it's been proven that, hold on, it's not dangerous to humans, but the melian that is found in like fungi is effective against MRSA, which is a deadly strand of skin disease. And that bacteria is resistant to most antibiotics, but when testing the micromolide from plants on the bacteria that causes TB is proved to be one of the more powerful anti-TB drugs ever found. So jewel wasps they can, from what I'm understanding, it basically can fight that off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think TB too is what it can fight off. So.
I wonder if it like could be put in some kind of testing though. And
I mean, it said that they tested it.
Another thing that could cause an apocalypse, like a zombie apocalypse, is neurogenesis, which is regenerating parts, Jesus Christ, of the body. um, so I mean, like that would be like a good thing, but at the same time, if your cells are going and like multiplying and like reproducing or like protecting or multiplying or whatever, it can like cause an infection to multiply at that same rate. There's also neurotoxins that could cause it, found in pufferfish, which is the voodoo Haiti thing.
Yeah.
It can put you in a death-like state. Then there is also mad cow disease, which can be affected with humans. Could cause rage, like a rage zombie. Kind of like I was saying about, like in the Fallout series, like they're kind of rageful. Yeah.
I was gonna say, also with the fungal zombies, like I said, it's a fungal infection that happens in the brain. Well, excuse me, the fungus infects the brain, and it'll grow mycelium inside brain tissues and eventually kills the brain cells. It erases memory, which drives the infected insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts modifying instincts to seek no goal other than spreading spores through the body, which ultimately, like I said earlier, the 4 stages were runner, stalker, clicker, bloater.
So kind of like affecting those areas, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except not being bath salts, it's a fungus.
Yeah.
And I think if that's like a real thing, I know it happened in The Last of Us. That's what those.
Yeah, because in The Last of Us, basically, like, if you watch the character, he would like throw a bottle to get them to run like a certain way.
They can't see at all,
but they can hear.
But they hear.
Mm-hmm.
Even in like I think the first stages, I don't think like that ability is just gone.
Mm-hmm. But
I could be wrong, and runners could be able to see, but once they further become a fungus zombie,
mm-hmm.
The clicker, they lose their ability to see.
Now, the reason that people dismiss the possibility, and I'll be honest, like I'm a little bit skeptical, but for one, zombies will have no metabolism, no longer to convert energy like humans do, like plants do, like animals do, so on and so forth. There's also no moisture coming from the body, like your body produces like sweat, so it doesn't protect you from heat or the cold elements.
And what is this one from?
Hmm?
Is this going along with the fungus, or which one is this going to?
No, this is like why people dismiss it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then also parasites and scavengers, meat is left out. Like if meat's left out, flies, maggots, all that kind of stuff will like go to the meat. Like it's amazing that there wouldn't be like something walking around that's just literal meat and bone, that's just like being attacked by like birds and flies and all sorts of stuff. They also can't digest whatever they're going to eat. It's not going anywhere. There's no yeah.
They've lost all ability. The only thing that works is their brain, which helps them to function and move.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't speak. Well, actually, some can speak. Like in I think it was the George Romero Living Dead.
Yeah, George. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think in those movies they were able to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and they were called brain-eating zombies, from one of the videos we watched. But I mean, zombies don't specifically eat brains.
Mm-hmm.
It's just meat.
Mm-hmm.
Even animals. So.
There is also no sight. Like usually, whenever a person dies, the first thing to go is their like the eye tissue. Like it just So basically, it ended up being like a whole bunch of clickers. Like, they
Yeah.
were just going off of hearing, and then eventually something would, like, deteriorate in the brain.
Well, I think what also helps is the sense of smell. So, like, even if their eyes are gone,
It's heightened.
it's extremely heightened.
So, I guess before... Let me see. Before I get into... I guess I'm gonna go into, like, pop culture, which kind of goes into video games, books, movies. And I'll let you talk about video games, because we were kind of talking about that anyway.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go into that.
It's just like, I know some of the lore, about, like, zombies in general.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure where exactly they originated from, so that was something new
Mm-hmm.
to me. Also didn't know about the voodoo zombies. Like, that was new to me as well. But I guess we could start off with, like, movies, like I said, with George Romero.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, he even was quoted saying, "Don't know where the brain eating part came from." It just
It happened.
Yeah. It was just something that, again, our culture just popped up like, oh, zombies eat brains. Like, for instance, The Walking Dead TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Those, they don't call them zombies. Like, in a lot of games, people don't really call them zombies. They call them, like, walkers, as we said, clickers, spitters and whatnot, the infected, but they aren't always called, or tweakers.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't always called zombies. And some creators get really, really upset, especially the one, it's a new game. I'm not sure if it's out or not, but Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that one in particular, he gets really mad, from what Kyle said, if you call them zombies. Because they're not. I don't know what exactly the tweakers are, because clearly they're not, like, meth head tweakers. Pretty sure that's not it, but they are extremely fast and have crazy agility.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest anybody go and watch a trailer to that, because it's really good. Like, in the show, okay, going back to The Walking Dead, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if you cut their head off, and I know this is probably most zombies,
Mm-hmm.
except for George Romero's, which I think those are the ones that you have to burn.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's either one of the two. You either have to get their head or you have to burn them. Those
Yeah.
are, like, usually in most movies and most pop culture, like, known thing. That's one of the two.
Headshot or burning. And both is pretty good too. Like Zombieland, double tap.
Mm-hmm. And I'll actually be covering that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, like, if you decapitate a zombie, then it will still function because the brain is what's making it function. That's the whole point of the zombie. Like, the rest of the body will just die. But, the brain will stay functioning the whole time. And in The Walking Dead, it's like bites and scratches that will cause the infection in the victim, which, from what I was reading, I think it can actually lay dormant and then eventually get there. But, some people are actually immune to the virus somehow. Like, that was the premise of The Last of Us.
Yeah, the girl in the... Spoiler, but if you haven't played The Last of Us,
it's been out for years. So.
Yeah, and they're about to have a second one, like, sometime, but, like, the girl in The Last of Us with the strain, they basically wanted to, like, kill her or experiment on her because, like, she was immune no matter what, and, like, she didn't know. Like, I don't think anyone knew except them, the Fireflies. That was it. I'm trying to think. Like, did you have any more about video games?
Yeah, I have a bunch more to talk about. 1 second. Well, I have movies and games. Let's see. Oh, well, of course, since last year, the Red Dead Redemption came out, and years ago we had Red Dead, the first one. Our protagonist, John Marston, and they had, the DLC, Undead Nightmare, and the start of it was by this green mask.
Mm-hmm.
Which I probably should have looked that up first, because I forgot all about it. But it's supposedly the thing that started the zombie
Plague.
outbreak, zombie plague,
whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think, John Marston's dead at this point because it's after. Spoiler. It's after his Red Dead, and then Undead happens.
Yeah.
So everybody did. And you get the 4 play courses, which is pretty sweet. But there's that, and then this I don't really consider zombie, but more like, I don't know what you'd call them necessarily, but in Red Dead Redemption 2, if you haven't played it, I suggest it, but there's something called the Nightfolk.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically considered crazy psycho killers, and their appearance is very pale, covered in dirt. They cannot speak whatsoever. They can only make animal noises. And like, if you had your headphones in, you could probably hear it a lot better to be more prepared, because the way they try to lure people in is if, like, there's a hanging body, they're carrying a person off that's either alive or dead. Most of the time they're dead. And then you can go through, there's one particular mission, it's a stranger mission, where you have to help this guy get these Nightfolk off his property, because they are like, they took over. You have to like kill them, and they all carry melee weapons, mainly bows, machetes, and I said tomahawks, but I'm not entirely sure.
That almost sounds like Haiti type zombies.
Actually, it says something about
because like I'm just gonna say this, like, with the like Haiti type zombies with like the puffer fish and everything. I don't know like a ton about it, but it's taking a normal person with this poison and like just taking their normal functions, and I think they're just kind of like able to be hypnotized in a way almost, or like, but for them to not like really talk. Yeah, that just sounded like that to me. Like, I don't know.
It said something that it was based on the cannibals in Bone Tomahawk, and I was actually looking at it. It was a movie, which I need to see that. But they can also be considered very similar to a couple of other 2 other gangs in Red Dead Redemption's world. Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically. The Skinner Bros, which is after the epilogue, or during the epilogue, and then the Murphy Broods, which is through the whole game. But you first meet them, unless you like explore the world, is in the during the Beaver Hollow part, where all of them are basically considered like these cannibalistic, murderous, crazed psychos, and like each of them are just god awful. But the Nightfolk in particular seem more like Haitian zombies, or be considered cannibals. So yeah.
That's not
I'm trying to see what else.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go into movies.
That is fine.
Okay. So, well, I kind of like will go into like also the biblical type thing too, but I guess I'm gonna hit on movie things first, because we're in modern day kind of thing. So the best zombie movies, according to like the sources I went over, these are the best ones. 28 Weeks Later, by director Juan Carlos. Probably gonna mispronounce his last name, so I'm just gonna go by by that. Planet Terror.
If you need help, I can.
Yeah, like I can't even read half of my handwriting. To be honest. Okay, so Planet Terror, which was in 2007, director Robert Rodriguez, which if you watch like any of the Quentin Tarantino films, yeah. Um, Train to Busan, 2016, director Sang Ho Yan, which I've seen that too. Really good movie. Day of the Dead, 1985, director George A. Romero. The king of the living dead, pretty much. The Reanimator, 1985, director Stuart Gordon. The Return of the Living Dead, 1985, Dan O'Bannon. Night of the Living Dead, 1968, director George A. Romero. Night of Creeps, 1986, director Fred Decker. Dead Snow, 2009, director Tom Warkola. And then Shaun of the Dead, 2004, director Edgar Wright, which is one of my favorites.
One of my favorites is Dead Snow, or the one that's not on the. I think it's either 28 weeks or 28 days later.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where it's the guy coming out of the hospital, and it's probably 28 weeks later. And I'm just
there's also
because like remember from The Office, like they're getting. How do you confuse this and this together? Zombie. Anyways.
And then one of the last ones on the list is Zombieland. Director Ruben Fisher, and it's in 2009. Which I mean, I think most people have seen Zombieland.
Yeah.
Like I think it's good.
The second one too.
Yeah, I think it's good, but like personally, like if I were to go for like humor, probably go with Shaun of the Dead. Like, honestly.
I don't know. I really thought that Dead Snow was just so hilarious, but like you have to read subtitles for it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Train to Busan.
Yeah, but like
that goes without saying though.
That one was like that movie was kind of funny to me. I'm not gonna even lie. Which if there's a couple of zombie movies that aren't necessarily meant to be funny, 28 is a great movie. Yeah, it is. Basically like there's I can't remember which one it is. Like I think it is 28 Days Later.
Hold on, I need to.
But it's the one where like the woman has the baby after she got bit, and then they like drop kick it. The guy's just like, I'm not dealing with this zombie baby, and they like kick it and they eat it out.
Okay, 28 Days Later is the one that I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I don't know. I don't think it's the same guy in 28 Weeks Later. No, it's not.
So, I'm gonna say this too. Biblically, there is a couple of scriptures that people debate about the fact that the dead could walk the earth again. I'm gonna share them, and with anything like biblically, if you take it out of text, it can be seen like different ways. But I kind of
ultimate zombie.
Jesus is the ultimate zombie. But like, so in Revelation 20 verse 5, it says the rest or the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended. And 1 Corinthians 15:52, it says the last trumpet will sound and the dead will be raised imperishable. Now in John 5:28, an hour is coming when all who are in the tombs will hear his voice. Those are kind of creepy to me. And I had the discussion with my mother like about it, and it's just honestly spooky that like it possibly talked about it. Like, and I don't necessarily believe everything in the Bible because you're getting, you probably have like a spiritual being, telling you what to say or put, and then you have like man's free will. It's just like I'm gonna put what I want. So
yeah,
you don't
like,
know.
Hate the gays. You're stupid.
Yeah. trying to think.
You're stupid. The only thing that should really be in the Bible is don't kill unless it's a pedophile. Only kill pedophiles and zombies.
So that's it for like pop culture and literature, but like, yeah. So basically, I'm going to do what you need to know. So you need to know headshots only. Don't waste a bullet. If you think you can take the shot, take the shot. Don't think twice. Shoot to save. Like, even if it's like someone that you like worked with or something, and you didn't want to shoot them, shoot them. Because if it's more about people living, and it sucks.
Exactly.
But yeah.
It's all survival if zombie outbreak happens. Like if your loved one is bit, shoot them. It's best for you and the rest of the people around you. It's sad, but it has to happen.
There's also strength in numbers. With any horror movie, don't split up.
Just don't do it.
Travel in a pack. Go light, carry what you need. This isn't like a trip to Aruba. You take what you need. Not that, like, 3 pairs of fancy swimsuits. You go with pants, underwear, water, weapons. Double tap. I know that says it's Zombieland, but that is just a thing. You know, don't waste bullets, but then again, don't risk your life.
Don't waste bullets in their chest or the rest of their body.
Yeah.
Only the head.
If possible, cover face, head, and neck. Because those are the places you can always cut off a limb. But you cannot cut off your head, your neck, or, or your face. So cover those because those are the first places that'll hit like that. You can, if you're going to get bit anywhere, aim for more so leg or arm, you can cut those off.
I don't know if this is going to be in it, but also, like, it's best to have really short hair, so, like, because a zombie will grab you.
Yeah.
It will grab your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Either have it tucked in something or cut it all off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to keep it.
Go full G.I. Jane, pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah.
Full on Tank Girl.
I had a pixie cut once. I can do it again if they ever come. Another thing is,
I looked like Johnny Depp from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So.
Another thing though is, try to be in shape, which I guess I die. Oh well.
I'll just be like, I'm out of breath.
Trying to think. So basically, I'm also gonna go what started the myth. So, in the late 1400s, when Columbus traveled and captured Haitian slaves, with them bringing their like magic, their voodoo. Basically, that's what they believed in, what they practiced, and so they brought it like with them, and they apparently like heard about it, and that's kind of where myths kind of began. And throughout the years, they kind of progressed into pop culture from like 8th century to now. And people will just seem on like to gain more and more information about like things that have just not happened yet, or might not happen. Who knows? Another thing is, why do we love zombies?
They're just very interesting creatures. There's so many ways that people come up with like how it can possibly happen, whether it be like, from a gas, just some sort of infection that just goes wild and starts all this. I can't really say bath salts, like, because I think you'll just die, period, if you eat all the bath salts. But,
well, some reasons people love zombies are we enjoy being scared, for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly am terrified of zombie apocalypse.
We may not admit it, but people go to the movies to see scary stuff all the time. They love scaring and pranking other people. They love reading about scary things. They love making videos, myself, about scary things. We like the idea of persevering in a horrible situation. Like, being the hero, being like...
getting the glory, basically.
Being able to tackle anything, like a true champ. It's also believed that there's a lot of symbolism and possible, about over terrorism or consumerism in it. Because, the fact of the matter is we can't control terrorism. We can kind of control consumerism in it. But, like, it's the fact of we can't control, it's kind of like, euphemism for,
Yeah.
like, zombies and everything, because we can't control, something happening with zombies. We could just try to, I mean, take precaution about it. That's basically all we can do.
Yeah. You can't. People build the bomb shelters and everything to like get ready for like if there's a zombie apocalypse. There's even a show about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the show, but it
There-
was on a while back.
There's also the possibility of reliance on ourselves over technology. Basically, the thought of going back to a simpler time, even if these flesh-eating things like attack us, it's the fact of we don't have to rely on anything but ourselves and
Yeah.
like weapons and like, I mean that's it. Like, but that's a lot of the reasoning why it's behind zombies and all. Trying to think if there's anything like um I guess to go back with the voodoo like Haitian stuff is Barcours, which are voodoo priests that practice black magic. Black magic would use the powder from the blowfish, but that's
Now, what did they really use these for? The zombies, like
Um,
as servants or like to just attack people?
so.
Because I mean, like we saw in one of the videos, there was a movie about it.
Mhm. Well, there is a lot of people who want to strike revenge with any black magic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
we
the
told-
point of
yeah.
black magic.
It's just basically to get revenge back on people and be able to control them or manipulate them in that state. That's
Yeah.
how it kind of starts. Or slaves, like, hold
I was gonna say like I feel like the Coven did something like that, but that was just zombies.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily Haitian zombies. That was just plain old.
Yeah.
But they used voodoo to erect them from the ground.
Yeah, like basically maybe like voodoo necromancy, maybe.
Yeah.
If that's a thing. Like
Well, necromancy is, but I don't know if it would.
coincide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to think. Is I don't think it would.
Um,
I believe it would.
I guess to close it out, we could talk about, basically our favorite games and shows that we particularly like. I know we kind of said it, but
I had like one more that I was working real hard on, and that was of course, good old Game of Thrones, which you haven't watched. You need to, 'cause oh my god, it's so good. But there are these ancient race of humanoid ice creatures that come from north of Westeros. And there's this huge wall that they built, I believe. I'm trying to remember Game of Thrones. I need to watch it like a million more times to like actually remember it. But these kind of like fairy-like creatures that are called Children of the Forest created the White Walkers or Whites. To help, like, from the first men who had waged a war on them since they arrived from Essos. So basically to fight against, or fight for them, I guess. I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting lost. But eventually these whites broke free from the children's control and became the most feared creatures in Westeros. And it was like 8,000 years before Robert's Rebellion that there was this great war where the walkers like either came through the wall or something and were just trying to take over Westeros, just control the world, basically,
Mm-hmm.
control all the land. And they were pushed back, and I think that's when either the wall was erected. That's where I stopped reading.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a Game of Thrones fan, then you know all about the Whites. But
So that's like one of your favorite.
oh god, yes,
Yeah.
it's probably one of my favorite adaptations of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess like one of my favorite things is, for one, The Last of Us, because like I just like the game, like the style play, basically. Another thing is like one of my favorite movies would probably be like, as I said, Shaun of the Dead. One of my favorite series movies is probably like Dawn of the Dead, honestly. Which Shaun of the Dead kind of makes fun of. um, but yeah, that's like, for me, that's it. There is, I also like the movie Paranorman, and I know it's like claymation or whatever,
I haven't watched that one, but I know it's good.
but like it's cute, and but at the same time, like, it's spooky, and the kid can talk to, ghosts and stuff, which I thought was really cool. So I like Paranorman like a lot, but like, honestly, the theories and stuff that are covered in each movie or video game, I think they do like a pretty good job off the information they got, or coming up with stuff, how to kill stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or like creating the monsters, like with Resident Evil, they have the T virus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another one, which it's a funny movie, but I loved the book. I think I read the book before I ever watched the movie, but it was Warm Bodies.
Oh yeah.
And it starred Nicholas Hoult. And oh my god, I cannot remember the other guy's name.
They had a good few actors and actresses.
Was it John Malkovich? Was that the other guy? Hold on.
I think so. Children's Hospital thing, or was it Children's Hospital? It's off of like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
It has
Oh
him.
my god.
I can't think of his name. And then it has well, just like it has a good group of people. I can't remember all the actors and actresses' names right now.
That actor is Paul Scheer.
Paul Scheer?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Paul Scheer. And then
But it was kind of cool in the book. Something that I liked was the fact of they showed parts of anatomy, like on each new chapter.
no, it's Rob Corddry.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the clown in Children's Hospital. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they show like a different anatomy in each part. They also kind of go into a description of like kind of like the feeling, or kind of like the description of each zombie, or what kind of zombie kind of thing.
Oh, and the Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing I really enjoyed. They did a really good job at covering it in the book, which the book is different from the movie.
Yeah, because it's like
it has different.
Him and his friend kind of like
They switched.
switch. Yeah, because in the book, R
had a
suit.
Yeah, and then M had a beard, and he was dressed in like a white shirt and jeans.
And it was
he
like
was bald.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that they kept in, is that his character was bald.
And they basically kind of switched up, so it was
which I like it the way they did it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you could like think of, like, well, how can you reanimate a zombie through love? Which is kind of dumb, but
I don't think.
it probably like.
Let me just kiss this zombie.
Blah, 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 blah.
And then all of a sudden you get your face bitten off,
But I mean, I really like the atmosphere that it portrayed, like in the book and in the movie.
Yeah. Nice soundtrack.
God, it was probably one of the better soundtracks for a zombie movie.
Yeah, I dug it. That was pretty sweet.
Everybody's got a hungry heart. Everybody's got a hungry heart.
Well, I guess that caps it off, or like double taps it off.
Double tap.
Yeah. So, I want to thank everyone that has watched this video.
Thank you.
If you're late and you didn't get to see the live, just comment below on the video because it'll let me post it. And I hope you enjoy. And message me if you have any comments, questions, or your own opinions or anything.
We will be sure to answer, or if you need to correct us on something.
Yes, because we, did research, but we could only do so much, and we went off online sources, unfortunately.
Yes, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in fandoms that know a little bit more.
Yeah, but we enjoy talking about the paranormal, so
Yes.
thank you so much. And I'm Sarah, and this is Gwen.
I am Gwen.
We're signing off. Oh.